Do 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 Good morning, America. Good morning, world. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Good morning, everyone. Waiting for someone to say something in the chat. Good morning to everyone. That's 6796. Wow, it's bouncing around all over the place. Do, do, do. Taylor. Good morning, Taylor. And Happy New Year to you, Taylor. Glad you can make it this morning. Hope you had a Happy New Year. Rebecca Lunsford, good morning. Chris Fisher, Happy New Year from Alabama. You just woke up. Well, you woke up in the new year. That's always a plus. That's always a plus. Well, welcome to it. You look cold. Oh, hell yeah, I am. Right now, it is 4 degrees outside. With the windshield, it is negative 13 degrees. Here in my studio, I'm sorry about the noise, but the heat just kicked on just as like maybe 2 minutes beforehand. But it is a blistery 35 degrees in here right now. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's my fault though. I forgot to turn it on until about an hour ago. Happy New Year to you, too. Holy shit. Yeah. Holy shit is right. It's cold. I live in the what's called a semi-desert. It's not a complete desert. We don't have like full size like saguaro cactuses here, but we have everything else that is like a desert. We get smaller cactuses, probably about a foot and a half, 2 feet tall. But I don't know what they're actually called. A lot of sagebrush, sandstorms are very common here. But because I'm between the Cascade Mountains and the Rocky Mountains, and we're in between in the valley below. So all the weather patterns go up over the Rockies, or if they come in this way, they go over the Cascades, and it pretty much shelters us from weather patterns because they come up over one and they go down over the other. So we get very little rain here. We get snow occasionally. We got snow right now on the ground, but when it at nighttime, when the temperatures drop, it can be 75 degrees outside. Just as an example, say it's 75 degrees outside, it will drop down into the teens at night, and because radiating heat, the way of the Earth works. But in wintertime, when you have like a high temperature of in the 40s, or 30s, at night it drops down into the negatives. Yay! Mama Bear, good morning. I believe it's 10 degrees there. Good morning, Reichart. Happy New Year to you. Good morning. It's pouring rain here in Akron, Ohio, 50 degrees. I'd rather be in Akron, Ohio with it raining, Reichart, than here. I would rather be there. But I hope you had a happy New Year, Reichart. Taylor, heading back up that way in September, only towards Spokane area, leaving the desert for good. Vegas, it sucks. Needs my trees and nature again. Yeah, I'm about 340-ish miles from Spokane, Washington. Yes, I know the area very well. I have property. I have 25 acres. That's about, well, you go to Spokane, you go through Spokane towards state line. I have property in Rathdrum, Idaho. It's up in the Panhandle area up there. So we go to the state line, and you take another left going towards Canada. And I have property up that way. They got a lot of snow up in Spokane right now. Rebecca, I'm in Indiana and it's pouring rain and we're in the 40s. In the 40s? 40s would be nice. Uh, I'm from Wisconsin. I was born and raised in Wisconsin. So the cold doesn't bother me. And I know how to live and survive in it. A lot of people where I live here now don't know how to. We get a lot of people who are transplants here from, they've lived their entire lives in Canada, not in Canada, but California or in the South. So, you get snow and ice and they don't know how to deal with it. So we have like 2 local tire shops here, and they'll have lines around the block as soon as the first snowflake falls, and it'd be like 4 or 5 days before you can get your car tires done. And then people will buy like 4 studded tires, even though their car is only front wheel drive. It's funny as hell. It's one of those things where you watch people walk in and you go, "Oh my God, really? You're getting chains and 4 studded tires? We're only going to get maybe a couple inches of snow and it'll only last a week." But they do it anyways. And then they're back in 3 weeks to get all the studs and the tires taken off, the chains taken off. But hey, any interest in selling off an acre or two? Hubby and I are looking for a little land. I wish I could, Taylor. It's one of those things that we're actually considering though, because the property tax rates in that area, especially because we're so close to Coeur d'Alene. So Coeur d'Alene is here, and we're just above Coeur d'Alene. The property values as Coeur d'Alene fills up and the people spread out more, it's the property taxes are getting through the roof. If you're interested in buying land, and if you really want to do that, and you and your hubby are looking for land, I would suggest looking not north of Spokane. Well, if you go to Spokane, go north up towards Deer Lake. That way, property is still reasonably priced up that way, or go down south of Spokane. You can still stay in the forested areas, but as long as you go up or north or south of it, don't go west, don't go east of Spokane. That's where the property values get really expensive. Good morning, K-Love. And Happy New Year, K-Love. Illinois quiz. Happy New Year, everyone from the Sunshine State. Connor Kelly. Good morning, Connor Kelly. Welcome to the stream and Happy New Year. I hope you had a great, New Year's Eve. But back to what I was saying, Taylor. Yeah, we're actually considering it because of the property tax rates of what we're actually paying now. The 25 acres that we have up there, it's got 3 homes on it. We inherited it from my wife's it'd be my wife's grandfather, so her mom's dad. My wife's mom's dad. Yeah, we inherited it through them. But we have one person who lives on the property now, and the other 2 homes that are on it are empty. But it's a good sized chunk of property up there. It's nice. It's kind of rural, so but it's still close enough to I think it's like 28 miles to Spokane. So it's still in state line, and there's Coeur d'Alene. I could work anywhere. So, but my wife works in healthcare. But it's kind of hard. It'd be 28 miles one way to work, because there is no work up there unless you work in the logging industry or tourism. You got to go, Mama Bear. Well, happy New Year! But before you leave, got to go making a New Year's breakfast for friends, and then out to clear snow again. Got about 3 inches, working on 4 inches here. Catch you later. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year to you too. How are the Seahawks doing, right, Cart? 5 wins, 10 losses. They have been officially eliminated from the playoffs or any chances. Tomorrow, Sunday, the Seahawks play the Detroit Lions tomorrow. So, and they are playing in Seattle. So it's only like 2 games left of the season, but they've been officially eliminated from the playoffs this year. Francie, good morning. So it's going to be interesting in the off season, though. You know who sticks around, what they're able to afford to keep. Um, will Russell Wilson go off to another team? Will Pete Carroll retire? In 10 years, this is officially the very first losing season underneath Pete Carroll, the coach, where they haven't made the playoffs. Now, they did have a losing season, but they set the history records for the first team to ever have a losing season and still make the playoffs. They lost more games than they actually won, but that actually happened. You know, it's the only time it's ever happened in the history of the NFL. Michigan got creamed. They got creamed with snow. Go Lions! Yeah. Uh, I play fantasy football. And actually, I run a couple different fantasy football leagues, and I think I'm playing one person from the Lions and one person from the Seahawks. I'm not sure though. I have one of each on the in one league on one team. Cowboys. The Cowboys are kicking ass. That they are a legitimate team this year for the first time in a long time. They've got just about everything going for them. You know, Schultz is tight end. He is Schultz is playing really good at tight end. They've got two legitimate running backs. You know, in Ezekiel Elliott and is doing great. Their wide receivers with Didi is doing awesome. And you can't hurt that a quarterback that is mobile as well. So Kelly Lorquist just got in the chat. My hubby's from Boise. We're from Florida, and it's supposed to be 83 here. Oh, I wish it was 83 here. No, I meant U of M got killed yesterday. Oh, in football. Oh, Tammy, good morning and happy New Year to you as well. Dak Prescott, he's had a pretty good season. Pretty good season. If you cut down some of the injuries that he's had over the year, he would have been a lot better. From Boise, Idaho is a beautiful area, by the way. I have a lot of friends who live in and around the Boise area. Very very pretty there. Um, Not that it needs to be mentioned, but there is an awful lot of Mormon families in the Boise area as well. Linda, good morning. Happy New Year to you as well. I wish you the very best, you and your lovely family. Good health and peace be yours. Always support and love you. Keep doing you. I will, Linda. Thank you very much. And Happy New Year to you and your family as well in the frozen tundra. Happy Gnosis. Good morning and Happy New Year. It's 16:13 there. So it's 4:13 p.m. in case you guys don't know what that means. And I hope you're having a happy new year. I am happy Gnosis, and thank you very much. I hope you had a happy new year. And let's hope that 2022 is much better for you, sweetheart. It's freezing here. It's going to get colder. Yeah, I talked to my sister last night. She's more north than you are by quite a bit, actually. She's up. Let's see. She would be from where you are. She's closer to Brainerd area up that way. But yeah, she was telling me how cold it got last night, and I'm like, oh, Little did I know that I wake up this morning. Right now, it is 4 degrees with a windshield factor. It is negative 13 degrees here right now. Not in the studio, but it's getting cold. It's actually mild and foggy here in upstate New York. I'm from West Virginia, and I missed the cold and the snow in West Virginia. My wife thinks I'm nuts. You know, I mean, she was born and raised in Washington State, and she most of her life she's lived in this area. And so we get a little bit of snow here, and it usually lasts about a week, and then it's gone. But the temperatures still stay down into the 20s and 30s during the winter. But the snow never lasts. But you know, I'm okay with driving in. She won't drive anywhere in the snow. Yeah, I actually prefer the winter over the summers because in the summertime, the daily average temperature is in the hundreds, so it gets pretty freaking hot here, and I can't stand it. Wow, 13 degrees Celsius in the north of England. That'd be nice to be. My son works in Colorado and came back to Arizona for the holidays and now can't get back. Oh, I'm sorry, Kayla. The dog's paws freeze in 2 seconds. Poor babies. Yes, colder up there. Brr. Yeah. My sister doesn't have any pets. She used to. She used to have a Chihuahua. Now that was something that you take it outside and you'd set it on the ground and it would go to the bathroom right there and then you have to pick the dog up and carry it back in because it wouldn't walk in the snow. Not that you could walk a little dog like that in the snow. It'd fall into the snowbank. You'd never find it again. Caleb is from West Virginia too. 9 degrees at the moment there. It's colder here. 4. It's supposed to warm up today. I was looking at it earlier. I think we're supposed to get up to like 14, 15 degrees today. Yay, heat wave. All right. So I want to kind of go over some things about my channel from 2021. Normally every year I do with kind of like a year in review video of what the good, the bad, the ugly, what took place on my channel in 2021 or whatever year it is. But I decided not to do it this past year, for yesterday, for my channel because a lot of people are really bored by it, and I probably am going to bore you with some of this. But some of the interesting things that I found out every year, I get what's called a media kit. Now, what the media kit is for is it's to help me sell my channel to advertisers, to get branded deals, sponsorships, and stuff like that. I've never used it. But they keep on giving me one every year, and they say, "Hey, go out and find some sponsored deals. Pitch a product that you'll never use yourself, but try to convince your subscribers and viewers to buy that product." Say, I'm not going to sell out for a couple of bucks, but it's interesting though these reports on analytics of the viewers of my channel. And I was just wondering how many of these things actually, describe you and your online activity. This is from December 25th, so Christmas Day, going all the way back last year to January 1st. So from January 1st, 2021, all the way to December 25th, Christmas Day. All right, the most searched out, and type of topic that you, the viewer, according to YouTube and Google, that you looked at the most was news. Then when it comes to music, more of my subscribers listened to country music than any other type, and not even close. We're talking millions of country songs were listened to over rock or pop or classical or any other type. It only lists 4, but country music by far, almost 3.5 million more than any other type of music. The next thing that they say my viewers and subscribers are interested in is documentary nonfiction television shows. So shows that are documentaries or nonfiction based. And then the last category they say you guys are that more of my viewers and subscribers were interested in is traveling, travel shows and adventure shows along that lines because it lists travel adventure buffs. So, good morning, Mike. Cop watching is my bag. First Amendment audits. I watch some First Amendment audit channels on YouTube. Some of them are pretty good. Other ones, not so much. Some of them I'm trying to think of the best way to say this without offending a lot of people. Is some of them go above and beyond and try to twist the story into more than it really was. But I mean, I enjoy First Amendment audits, content on YouTube. Yes, I love the news and documentaries. Francie does. We might get an inch of snow here in coastal North Carolina. Wow. Grew up in the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. You have Mastiffs? Have a hard time in the Carolina summers, Tammy? My sister used to have 2 Mastiffs. Unfortunately, they didn't live an awful long time. I think each of them only lived like 8 years. That's huge dogs, though. Wow. I can't remember what type of Mastiffs they were, but now she's got even bigger dogs. Well, they're about the same size, but they're big, huge dogs. You have your year well. Run and visit the daughters today. Take care. You drive safe there, Linda. Now family COVID cover. Don't usually comment, but I've been a sub a long time. Love this channel. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. I hope you had a happy New Year, and I'm glad you could stop in this morning for the live stream. Okay, so the last part of this report that they give me is the interest that you have, that a lot of my viewers and subscribers have. I'm not saying it's just you, but the large majority of my viewers and subscribers have, that is off of YouTube on just things that you may have Googled. Home decor, credit and lending and finances, and real estate. Those are the 3 things that are extremely high. Because it lists them on low, high, medium high, very high, and extremely high. Interesting report, though. All right. So next thing, I kind of folded everything this way, is I wanted to kind of go over a little bit the money that that I helped raise for nonprofits in 2021. Some were very successful, not others. We raised some money, quite a bit of money, but not as much as we were hoping for. When it comes to Next for Autism, which is a charity that I strongly support, along with a lot of other YouTubers, and mainly Mark Robler, and his channel and his content. I personally raised $6,489.20 for Next for Autism, so just under $7,000. When it comes to Team Seals, another one that a charity that we got involved with to help clean up the oceans that are out there. For every dollar donated, they removed 1 pound of plastic from the ocean. We raised $1,364.72. For the Innocence Project, those who are wrongfully convicted and they're able to prove it, but in going through the process of proving that they're innocent and getting them released from prison. Unfortunately, we only raised $580.13 for the Innocence Project. For the National Center for Domestic Violence, we raised $1,873.82 for the National Center to Stop Domestic Violence. And then lastly, the last charity that I helped in 2021 was the Fight Against Hate. That is a nonprofit organization that helps us stop racial hatred and make sure that those who commit violent acts against one because of their skin color or nationality is they're prosecuted, and that we also has spread the awareness of love and intolerance within our society. I was only able to raise $1,263.53 for them. So I didn't add it all up of what that comes to. But this is donations. I put the link next to my video and a lot of my videos, and it will say fundraiser underneath it, the video itself. But these are donations that came directly from you, the viewer, through my channel directly to them. Now I made on the Next for Autism, the night that we did that with Mark Robler, we were live with Jimmy Kimball and so many other celebrities. We raised about $3,000 that night, so you add about another $3,000 to $6,400 that we raised. So a total overall, we're close to I helped raise close to $10,000, $9,500 approximately. And YouTube and other venues like PayPal waived all fees. There were some that didn't waive fees, like Cash App, and Venmo. They refused to waive fees for donating to these nonprofits. And then certain credit card companies refused to waive fees as well, mainly American Express. They refused to waive any kind of transaction fees for nonprofits. They just pass that on to the beneficiary. So but that's why people are donating whole dollars. That's how you end up with change on the end, because they add a minimal fee, but they refuse to waive it. So those are the things that are kind of interesting that happened with my channel in 2021. Yes, I guess I could go into much greater detail about some of the metadata, and things that went right and went wrong, but I don't want to bore you too much. You have better things to do with your life. Lily Carter, well, they are amazing. I've done my part, and I try to every year to not only make content that is informative and helpful for you, the viewer, but I try to reach out even broader to help my community and help the world. When it comes to like Next for Autism, it's important to me. I have an autistic son. Mark Robler has an autistic son as well, and when it comes to children who are on the spectrum of autism, there are a lot of programs that are here, between the day, birth and diagnosis of autism up to the age of 18. And then in a lot of areas around the United States, at the age of 18 and on their 18th birthday, even if they're in a program, they kick them loose. They're like, you're an adult now. We can't help you. So what Next for Autism has done is we're raising money to fill that gap, to teach life skills, employment skills for those who are on the spectrum, of autism. Because a lot of people don't understand is those who are on the spectrum, when it comes to adults with autism, the unemployment rate is greater than 70% are unemployed and will have long-term unemployment as adults, because they got the basic education that the public school system will give them, but there's no programs after school. After you become an adult, how do you transition to getting your own apartment, finding work. These are life skills that they need. And we can't just say, well, your mom and dad or your aunt or uncle can help you with that, and deal with it yourself. And that's where Next for Autism, we're trying to fill that gap between there and then when federal programs and other things will come in and actually be able to help take over group homes and other things involved. Start before the actually age of 18 and then work through 18 to 20-ish or somewhere in there, whatever the skill, and needs of the individual are. So it's a great nonprofit. And a lot of people ask me, how much money do you make off this? I don't make a dime off of it. I've donated a lot of my own money and a lot of my wife's are joint money because it's something that that we truly believe in and something that we want to support because we know eventually someday down the road, my son is going to need these services. He's going to need somebody to have that safety blanket, of life skills to teach them. And even if it's not, if he doesn't need it, somebody else's child is going to need it. Why can't we take care and think about taking care of them now and plan ahead? I mean, we plan for our retirements. Well, at least most of us do, right? You can't survive on Social Security if you live in America, you know, unless you want to live in poverty. J. Ray, I can't wait for Duggar to be sentenced this year. I hope that it happens sooner than rather than later. And throw the book at him and throw away the key. J. Ray, that might happen. Right now, for Duggar for sentencing, they're hoping to get him into sentencing and back into court for sentencing by April. That's the right now. March, April is where they're looking at right now. The reason why it's taking so long is because there's such a backlog in all court systems. It doesn't matter if it's small claims court in your area, all the way up to the district, from district to superior, from the Supreme Court. Everything is so backlogged because everything was shut down during all that COVID, closure. So, but they're hoping to get him into court, but they'll be done with his assessment, I believe, the end of this month. They'll have his assessment ready for sentencing of what he needs, in prison and security wise, health, and everything else. But and then they'll be able to move forward on sentencing. If they can get him in sooner, they can get him in sooner. Hello. Oh, Broken Justice. Good morning, sweetheart. Scratched my cornea, so it just listening can't text very well. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, dang, broke. How did you do that? I'm scrolling up. Can't hold down a job. I have to be self-employed. We get no help. In the you're in the UK, right? Happy Gnosis. I thought you lived well, in my mind, for some reason, I have that you live in London or something along that lines. I could be wrong, but I got Christina Burleson has a nephew who is autistic. I donate to the Innocence Project. That's a great cause. It is. It is, Mike. I still remember these businesses that didn't waive fees. Starfire, good morning, and welcome to this morning's stream. I hope you had a happy New Year. Well, I try to, Francie, raise money for good causes. Next year, we're when it comes to you were diagnosed with autism at 46. You'd be surprised, Happy Gnosis, how many adults around the world are actually diagnosed with autism later in life, much later in life, and they always thought that they just didn't fit in, or they learned differently. And then later on in life, they're diagnosed with autism. They're like, wow, all these years. It turns out that I'm not the person that's really the defective one. It's how society treated me or taught me or dealt with me. You'd be surprised. There are millions of adults who are and were diagnosed with autism much later. My grandson is autistic. We refer to him as handy capable as opposed to handicapped. That's cool, Tammy. That is very cool. Six Sense Amelia. Good morning and happy New Year to you as well. We don't actually, when it comes to my son, we don't refer to him as autistic. We know he's autistic, but we don't refer to him in any capacity like that. And when it comes to each and every child has a different set of skills. I mean, you take two brothers and sisters who are not autistic and you put them next to each other, and one may be extraordinarily good at math or better at math than the other. One might be a better reader than the other, in comprehension. Everybody's different. Our son, it just he may be delayed, he's speech delayed, so he only has about 10 or 12 words somewhere in there that he says that are clear, but he has 40 words total that are just gibberish and they're kind of made up, and some of them are absolutely made up. But he has skills that are better than other kids that are at the age of 5, because he's only 5. He's that many years old. You ask him, how old are you? I just many. But yeah, but every child's different. We refuse to refer to him as autistic. He's just, but he's our life right now. He's always going to be, at least for mommy. Not disability, a different ability. That is true. I got diagnosed with ADHD symptoms, similar to autism. Yeah, attention deficit disorder. Yeah, definitely. Very similar in a lot of ways. Um, when it comes to my son, he'll never be. If he makes eye contact with you, it's very, very brief. And the way that his doctor explained it to us is that everything that he sees 15,000 like frames of it in his head. If he looks at your face, he takes like a mental picture of it, and it's multiples of the your face, and he'll never make eye contact again. He'll look at your chest or your feet, if you're lucky. But he has a lot of sensory overload, um, sounds, music, lights, colors, really bother him. And that's true with a lot of people, people who are on the spectrum. The spectrum is everywhere from here to here. That you can be anywhere in that spectrum, and different things affect different children, and adults in that spectrum. So, Tammy, handicapped. I lost my left arm a couple years ago. I hate the word handicap. I wish people only knew how to lose a limb. Made me stronger than I ever was intact. Well, I'm sorry about the fact that you lost your arm, Tammy. But I'm glad that you're still making it, it go, if at all. What happened to Daisy? Mike asks. They don't know. They don't know. At least technically, they don't know. They know that she was rescued and she went to, um, how would you call it, like not a foster home there, but a placement. They have a different term for it, Mike. But she survived the abuse from Scully. But then they don't track them after that. It's kind of like they could have ended up giving her to another abusive family. And that's the sad thing about the world out there. When things like that happen, Mike, they don't track it. It's like, okay, well, you can't take care of your children. They'll take your children and give them to the family next door, and with no follow up. at all. No, there's no social services. No one's going to come knock on their door tomorrow afternoon to make sure that Daisy is being taken care of. And that, and unfortunately, is the way it works around the world. A lot of people have problems with here in America. They say that child protective services is overreaching, overbearing, is corrupt. In a lot of aspects, these things are true, but it's better than nothing. And the world out there has a lot of nothing. They don't have that safety net to follow up with a child to make sure that they're not being abused again. So there are countries out there, that where they do have something like a child protective services that does follow up. Don't want everybody to get the idea that there is nothing out there in developed countries, but in a lot of countries, especially poorer countries, they don't have the manpower, the money, or anything else to have follow up. So children just get lost in the in what is not a non-existent system. Well, that we don't know. We don't know if she's going to remember or not. Um, I mean, yes, the abuse and the horrific things that happened to her was much younger in life, but they didn't necessarily. Is it going to affect her? We hope not. She's still going to have the physical scars of what happened to her. Those things are going to last forever. The physical, she may not mentally be able to process and remember the things down the road, but the physical things that he did to that child, I mean, those are life. Some of those are going to be lifelong, traumatic things that they're going to follow her wherever she is. ASD and direct eye contact. To the Turpin children. Yeah, yeah, that's one that I'm following. I haven't done anything on, but I'm following it. If I'm with you, that'd be hard to make a video of. So sad. Oh, thank you, Christina. I try. I'm human, so I have faults, but I try to be a good father, good friend, husband, brother. I try. Hey, good news, ladies and gentlemen. It's now warmed up to 5 degrees outside. I try. That's all we can. All of us can ever do in this world is try to be, a better person. To be the best person we can. We can only get a short amount of time on this in this life to get things right. Some people do, some people don't. I know I'm going to fall short in some areas, but I hope overall that I'm able to make a difference, and do the right thing, and that's all we can really ever hope for. Oh, you get your speedo out for that heat wave, Will. It's 55 in New Jersey. In Jersey, wow. Yeah, I don't know about that speedo there, Tammy. I don't own one, but are you having hot coffee? It was. It was hot when I first got in here. It's not anymore. It's kind of lukewarm right now. I'm going to finish this up and then Red Bull. Jumping off here, Ed. You leaving, Ray? J. Ray? If you are leaving, J. Ray, you have a great day, and thank you for stopping in this morning. I appreciate you being here. And for everybody else, don't forget to give the stream a thumbs up. I know I was mortified by what happened to those beautiful kids. Accused of being dishonest and a liar because I won't look at this particular person in the eyes when talking to them. Well, I'm sorry about that 6 cents a meal. That's terrible. And a lot of people out there don't understand. They believe if honesty comes only from eye contact. I get a real kick out of some of these YouTube channels that are out there. They call themselves body language experts when they hold no degrees in any field at all in psychology or forensics, but they call themselves body language experts. They're like, look at how he looks over to the left. Every time he looks over to the left, that's a lie. Nope. No, and if they actually did the actual just Google it, they could find out that a lot of people have nervous tics whenever they become overexcited or overstimulated. Either their eyes dart to one direction. It's not necessarily a sign that someone is lying. There are signs, body, language signs like crossing of the arms, are is a sign of self-protection. There are signs like that, but some of these channels, and I'm saying all of them, but some of them, they go down these alleys of of trying to guess what's really going on with an individual with no experience, no background, and there are a couple I know of too that say that they have degrees in psychology and that they're professional. I don't want to go too far into that. They say that they have a medical license to practice psychology and psychotherapy, but you can Google their name and you can check on their licensing in almost every single state online. It's amazing what people will believe just because they see it on the screen or on television. You can tell when Joe Biden is lying, his dentures are moving. So anytime he says something, huh? I don't get into politics, Mike. There ain't a goddamn one of them that's ever looking out for me and my best interest. They only look out for whoever pays pays them to talk about or think one way or over another. They have a YouTube degree. Yeah, yeah. The other day I actually watched a clip. Somebody sent me and this person had a whole bunch of the YouTube plaques in the background in his video, but he actually bought them all. You can actually there's a company out there that makes replica YouTube awards. They look, I guess, pretty close to the originals. I've never seen one in person, but they look, in the background of of a studio, they look just like the real thing. I guess they're just a little tiny bit shorter in overall size, but I'm like, this guy had like 60,000 subscribers, and he had the $1 million subscriber plaque in the background. And I'm like, well, maybe he has another YouTube channel. Nothing linked to it at all. And so I did a little YouTube investigation on it, and I found the video on another channel where he admitted to actually buying it, the plaque. And it's like I think $700. You can buy one of the stupid plaques and put it in the background, but it makes you, maybe you, the viewer, believe that that person is worth subscribing to because they have a plaque in the background. Chrissy C. Tracy, Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you too, Chrissy. I hope you have a wonderful year. Happy Gnosis. doing a master's in positive psychology, and I'm a licensed therapist in the UK, but I also an autistic flapper, and I can't read anyone's facial expressions. Neither can my son, sweetheart. My son, that is one of the things that it's kind of hard. Not only can he not read facial expressions at all, happy, sad, angry, he can't read any facial expressions from anything at all. And it's one of the things that we work on, in his occupational therapy, and, and with his occupational therapist, we work on trying to recognize when a facial expression on different things, So, but at the same time, he can't express the emotion either. He doesn't know how to express anger or sadness or pain or mad. He can't express these, himself. He's just, at one level always. Is there anything you can do to bring more attention to the horrific things that have happened to all those innocent children? Um, as in a fundraiser, Connie Kelly, uh, is there? Well, there's so many different nonprofits out there in that aspect that would be. I would have to look into it more. There are several different, like 1-800 the help, which is a nonprofit organization that helps with children who have been abused and getting them the therapy that they need. But I don't. YouTube, when it comes to the thing where I can put on the screen, they have to be recognized by YouTube as an actual charity. You can make one, and add like their logo and a description and everything else. But if they don't recognize it, they don't give that a nonprofit status. So they charge a fee for everything that gets donated to it. So I would have to look into actually do more investigation to see if they actually have any of them listed. Now there are Amnesty International is listed, but there are several other like UNICEF that is not listed on YouTube as a nonprofit. We still can't figure out why YouTube does not recognize UNICEF. It's one of those things with YouTube, and you have to send them a work ticket. Hey, can you fix this? And it might take a week. It could take 6 months for them to finally get around and reply back, and fix their issue. Slot for those poor kids who are being harmed by people who should protect them. Yeah, you're lying. Sorry, right card. Hello, Will. It's nice to meet you. Happy New Year. I hope you have a healthy, prosperous New Year. Well, thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate that. Um, I'm slowly getting better. The day before Thanksgiving, I had knee surgery. I had two ligaments, the ACL and the PCL ligaments in my right knee replaced. I'm getting better. My pain level has finally dropped. I'm a lot more mobile than I was, but it's going to take some time. Doctor told me that the overall recovery time is probably right around 3 months before I can start doing a lot more physical activity with it. But just walking, and getting around right now, at least I'm not on crutches or using a cane right now. So I'm happy as hell. So I have to take it really extra careful, especially right now with snow and ice on the ground. The last thing I want to do is, do damage to what just got repaired. But 2022, I'm looking forward to. It's got to be better than 2021 for me. It's got to be. You know, a better year professionally, personally. And I'm hoping for the best. And I hope that more people finally, it's only been in the last couple of months that finally I've been seeing a lot more subscribers to my channel and my content. People finally like, hey man, where the hell you been hiding all this time? I've never heard of your channel before. I've been here all this time. Well, I've been here for 3 years. This is my third year. So hopefully people, find my channel, subscribe. I run about a 79% of all those who watch at least 10 pieces of content per month have never been subscribed. But I'm hoping to get that lower, get down closer to the YouTube average, which is about 60%. So I run about, 10 to 19%, higher than the average. So I'm hoping for some fun this year. I want to get back to, traveling. That's what I look forward to. Happy Gnosis. I want to travel again. I want to go see minor league baseball games. I want to go visit my family back east. Like I've done every year for the last 20 years. It was my routine. Every June I would take off and for the entire month, and I'd travel around the United States and I'm meeting people in small town America, watching baseball games, visiting family and friends and subscribers, viewers of my channel. I would love to get back to doing that, but COVID got in the way. Not so much that they closed small town America. It's that people freaked the hell out when somebody new came into town and there was a small population. Oh my God, maybe he's got the COVID. Maybe he's going to give it to all of us, and then everybody in our town's going to get it. People freaked out. So I was like, okay. And then they canceled all of minor league baseball. I'm like, what? You can't do that to me. But I don't think they took my opinion into it too much. Lily Carter, I just found your channel last week. Well, welcome aboard, Lily. I'm glad that you can be here with us. Found it today. LOL, it just popped up. Well, Chrissy, we have probably the best, community, and my opinion, it's the best, but other people, disagree. I think we have the best community on YouTube. We all, respect each other, and we understand that, the mission and everything that I do, I document everything that I talk about on my channel, and I give you the truth and the story, and then I let you decide, who's guilty, who's innocent, what the sentence should be, and everything else. And that's what people enjoy. Is I'm going to give it to you straightforward. Yeah, it may come off as dead, panned or really dry. I've been told that a lot. But which brings up another subject. Marie York, good morning and welcome to the stream this morning. I hope you had a great day. This is an awesome channel. Will is truthful and awesome. Well, thank you, Rykart. So I gotta tell you guys about this really quick. So in when I was doing the research for this, I was going to do a year in review of my channel and my content. One question, one comment came up more in 2021 than anything else. Now, putting aside questions that were asked about, like in Josh Duggar videos, people asked, about certain, things within that actual case. But putting that aside, just generalized questions that had nothing to do with the actual content itself. One question was asked more than anything else. Why do you wear a dress shirt and tie? You look more comfortable in a t-shirt and jeans. That was the number one question asked more than anything at all. I don't know why people are worried about, what I wear, but I figured I'd address it in this stream. So before I started this YouTube journey, and this channel, For 20 years before this, I worked in upper management in a biochemical company. 20 years. I worked in an office every single day. I either wore a suit and tie every single day, or if, at the very least, I'd wear, slacks, dress shirt, and tie every single day. How people got the perception that I am more comfortable in one type of clothing over another, I don't know. I'm comfortable in my own skin. So the clothes that I wear, it may be on camera, it may look different. It may be, what you don't like or what, you feel comfortable in. But I'm comfortable as me, in my body, in my life. So the clothes don't make me. And it's the dress shirt and tie, and my hair done and stuff like that. That is more to be to be taken serious. Because would you rather get your news from on an evening newscast from a newscaster who's wearing a Metallica T-shirt, and jeans, or would you rather get it from a man who's wearing, a dress shirt and tie? Maybe you want the guy that gives it to you, gives you the news, who's wearing the Metallica T-shirt or Def Leppard or whatever you pick a band T-shirt, over the guy with a suit and tie. It's and but the studies we did, people found this a heck of a lot more credible and truthful, and regardless if the content was the same here or in here, and said the same way and presented the same way. So I dress, they always tell you, dress for success, dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. The job that I have is presenting the news and information to you, the viewer. And if I wear a dress shirt and tie, it's because I choose to. I have an entire closet full of suits and dress shirts and ties, and quite a few subscribers have sent me ties too, and I'm very grateful for it. People don't believe me, but I can't convince them of that, otherwise. Scott Reach always wears a suit and tie. Yeah, but Connie Kelly, that's again, that's his job. He's an attorney at law. Now, I love Scott's content, by the way. I love it. I love crime talk. But and I've been a subscriber to Scott's channel for probably as long as I've been on YouTube myself. That Legal Eagle and a couple other attorneys that give the factual information about the law itself. But yeah, but you would want your attorney to be presentable in court. You go to court, you don't want your attorney to show up in flip flops and cut off shorts. You want him to be wearing, a attire that is, respectful of the court, which is a suit and tie. And Scott, if you watch the last like weeks worth of videos, you notice the tie has been gone. He's been wearing just a dress shirt and in the and a sports jacket or suit jacket, no tie. Your clothes look great. Well, thank you. Can you imagine Tom Brokaw doing the news in a Metallica T-shirt? I could. I would love it. And by the way, Tom Selleck and Dan, not Tom Selleck, but Dan Rather, the anchor, he was a huge fan of Def Leppard. Def Leppard. I know that for a fact because he actually mentioned it in an interview after he left the, was it CBS or whatever, that he was taking somebody, to see Def Leppard, one of his children or somebody. But Dan Rather was a Def Leppard fan. I don't know if he's still alive or not. I mean, I don't want to say past tense if he is alive. I'd rather a Metallica shirt. There you go. I try to. I like the dress for what's comfortable for me. I just don't understand why people are so involved and worried about what I'm wearing. Um, does it mean that I'm fake? Does it mean that I'm not truthful because I'm dressed that way? I mean, I built an entire studio that cost more money than I made all of last year. I spent more money in building this thing than I'd made in actual revenue on YouTube. That's the truth. Does that make it that mean that the studio and everything is fake? No. No, I'm not the only one that uses it though. My wife uses this for her podcast, and I have friends who come in here and record, and I've got mixing and soundboards and a whole bunch of microphones and lights and everything else. I mean, I only use two lights on right now, but this is it's all soundproofed and everything else. But my homeowners association doesn't know it's here yet. I have to put that in there because someone's eventually going to narc me off to them. Do you cover the Oakley Carlson missing person? No, I have Mystery Maven. Good morning. I'm an attorney too, and don't wear a suit on my channel. To each their own, Mystery Maven, and welcome. And I hope you had a happy New Year. But that's your choice, though, right? I do believe it is your choice. If that's what if you would rather dress down or dress up, that's your choice. And just like me wearing a suit and tie or shirt and tie, for my videos and content and channel, that's my choice. But I just find it curious why so many people are worried about, or they think that I'm more comfortable wearing one set of clothes over another. What you say is more important than what you wear, in my opinion. That's true. I like authentic people wearing what they want. Well, I try to. I try to do exactly what I want. Within reason. I mean, if I covered all the content that I prefer, yeah, I don't think anybody would want to watch my channel. So I have to make a balance between what the public wants and what I want. You have to balance it. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to do just what I am more interested in, because we would be talking about serial killers all day long, and we would be avoiding all the hot topic, and things that are in the news, because I'm more interested in the psychology behind the serial killer. That's why there are all these textbooks and stuff behind me on psychology. They're not mine, they're my wife's. She's the one working on her master's in psychology. I find it interesting as well, the psychology of what makes people tick and why they do the things that they do. That's my interest. But and the videos I've made about that, I get maybe a couple hundred people to watch. I make a video about Josh Duggar, I had 108,000 people watch that. I make the next one, I had 190,000 watch that. I think I'm going to make this a little bit less than this, and then I'll make this to balance out this. So again, it's a balancing act. You subbed, Chrissy? Well, welcome to the channel. I appreciate it. Okay, Mystery Maven, unsubscribe. Marie York, you're doing awesome. You do you. I will, and thank you very much, Marie. I just hope that more people would join along. So when a case comes up, I put a lot of time and a lot of effort and money into the research behind these things, and try to find the people that know the answers that we all want. But it's one of those things. It's like you can't make somebody subscribe. I can't even get people to give it a thumbs up. I can't force you to do it. I mean, it's free. You can subscribe and then 10 minutes later unsubscribe if you want. Give it a thumbs up, and then 10 minutes later give it a thumbs down. That's your choice. Dobies? Dobies as in dogs? What you think happened to Summer Wells? It's a good question, Mike. What do I think happened to Summer Wells? Huh. Well, she's not at home. If I had to put money on what happened to Summer Wells, Mike, now this is what I'm about to say is not factually supported by any evidence that I'm aware of. I think Summer Wells was taken by somebody, obviously not mom, not dad. I mean, even though dad's a drunk, but I think that Summer Wells was taken by somebody, lured away from the home and taken by somebody who has a connection to their church. And I don't think it was somebody just driving through the neighborhood and just happened to stumble across, Summer. I think it's somebody who's connected to the church, therefore connected to the family. She had a real fascination with looking up to certain women of empowerment. And if there was a couple that was looking for a child, it would be easy to lure her away if it was someone that she had seen or met through the church or in the church itself. That's my own gut feeling on it. I think dad is a train wreck and he's always going to be a train wreck. And the worst thing that has ever happened in this case, besides Summer disappearing, is Don Wells opening his goddamn mouth. And I'm sorry for saying that, but that's the truth. He needs to shut the hell up. He has done nothing to help the case. Candace, in that aspect of not talking and not making endless rambling, interviews, she's done a great job there. But Don is, he's a train wreck, and the worst part about it is we can all sit back and we can say we would never do this if this happened to our child. If our child disappears, we'd be out there beating the brush for 12 hours straight. We would beat the brush until our ankles and our knuckles bled. They weren't out there doing that. Therefore it shows guilt. You can't say that necessarily because you don't know the individuals themselves. Maybe they were told not to. Maybe the police forced them not to. Maybe this happened or this happened. You have to look at the entire circle, and you have to look at it from the outside without having a prejudgment of the situation. What is there's a child who's missing, and you want to bring that child home safely. So you start with where was the last known place the child was seen. If you say the child was seen at home, that was the last place the child was seen, alive or at all. You start with those who actually saw the child there. Well, mom and dad say the child was there. Do the siblings say she was there? You take them one by one and you interview them, you talk to them. Did they say, the same story? Do their stories match up? And then you look at it from that perspective, and then you work outwardly to try to solve the case. When there's very little evidence of what happened to Summer Wells, we can go down the trail of, oh, she went swimming, in a pond and she didn't know how to swim. You could take all these other things and say, about them, but do they trace back to the home where the starting point was? Was she alive there? Do everybody who was there, say the same story about her being there? If they do, then it doesn't matter if she could swim or not in 4 inches of water in a pond, or if she was, had somebody else who was a predator who was around her, because you can trace down that predator and then go work around him. Do those circles then overlap each other at some point? See, that gives you a little bit of insight on how I look at an actual case. Just because someone like Summer Wells disappears, where does the story go? Where does the evidence lead? And from it's like a spokes of a wheel. And then I tried to document each and every part of it. And then the Summer Wells case, the reason why I didn't cover it extensively is because there's very little documentation that actually has come out of it with a whole lot of speculation. You could go with the rumors and speculations for days. And then there's the outlining area, which is all lies that people are trying to convince people, who are watching the inside, outwardly. They're trying to convince them this is what happened. I know it happened because they made it all up. But these lies are trying to, coerce, people who are closer, who are looking in on the actual case, that they know the truth, and they're trying to convince you, that they know something that they don't know. Because they have zero, documentation of it, but they, it brings in the views, brings in the money, and they can, tell you to give money to them on their Cash App or, whatever. It happens a lot more than you may realize. And some of the channels that people like to watch and enjoy do it as well. I wish they would just put a little disclaimer at the bottom of the screen that says not based on factual evidence. But what do you think about the numerous dogs? If someone took her from the property, wouldn't they have barked? I get stuck on that. I don't. No, because I looked at that as well and thought about the same question that you're doing. Why didn't the dogs alert to it? There's several ways around dogs. Dogs don't always bark. Maybe you have a dog who always barks at a leaf or anybody who walks past your house. Not all dogs are the same. There are ways to distract a dog. You could, they wouldn't necessarily bark at you if they know you or they've seen you before. Maybe the dogs, again, because, quite a few times the Wells family had members of the church over. Maybe that individual who took her was, involved in one of those church groups that came over to their home. They lived up here in the roads down here. I mean, it wasn't like you could drive by and see a child and just reach out and grab her, unless she had walked out the back, downstairs area where she supposedly have been. I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating on that. I don't have any factual evidence at all. But yeah, the dogs are definitely one of them. She could have walked out of the basement, door, and maybe she was out playing, and the dogs, wandered off because a rabbit ran through the field. So they went that way for a little bit, and she walked the opposite direction. And then it just happened to be circumstances that the person who took her was coming the opposite direction, the direction that she was walking. There's a lot of things that could have happened. We just don't know. There, nothing to pinpoint on that, says this is really what happened to her. But for the dogs, yeah, there's ways around dogs. I mean, it's not uncommon, and there are plenty of stories out there of people who, kidnapped other children to, get the dogs away from them. They've used, something to distract the dog, or whatever to get near the child. And I mean, somebody who's raised a lot of and had a lot of dogs. Um, I know for a fact, even in my German shepherds, when I had those, you could distract them in a heartbeat. They're the most loyal and protective dogs I've ever had. But you could distract them, with a couple of treats, and they would just walk away. But Dobies, I've had those. The German shepherds, Malamute, you name it. I've had a lot of dogs over the years. J.C. Duggar got grabbed off of Dugard, got dragged off the street waiting for a school bus. That's true. What do you think about all those people going to protest at the Wells home? To answer your question, Caleb, um, I try not to think about it. What because it distracts me from the actual case itself, and what I'm trying to learn about it. It's like the people who sat across the street from Brian Laundrie's parents, with megaphones, and yelling at them at all hours of the day and night, or sitting there and watching them and photographing them constantly and following them every time they went somewhere. Uh, in the end, what was the truth? Brian really did exactly what he said he was, and what he planned on doing. He went into the Carlton Reserve. He ended up killing himself in the Carlton Reserve, and he was dead the entire time. But didn't stop the speculation. People from, sitting across the street from their homes yelling at them. They're just a distraction from the actual case. Yeah, I think the bolt in my armrest on my chair is coming off. It is. Sorry. I just put my arm on it, and all of a sudden it went. My mastiffs wouldn't let anyone on my property unannounced, although they are very vocal. I think my sister, Tammy, she had bull mastiffs. I think that's the name of them. I mean, they're huge dogs. I always joked with her when our children were younger that she, because her daughter and my daughter are 2 days apart. I always joked with her that we should get a saddle for her mastiff so they could ride it around like a pony. Big dogs. Absolute disgrace. Molly Golightly is the worst. She was on the laundries too. I make mine are English Mastiff, 165 pounds. Holy Christ, that's not a dog. Wow, that I have no idea what my sister's Mastiffs used to weigh. I mean, they had I say that they had a short life. I mean, but they only lived about 9 years. She did she had them for 9 years. They were adopted because they were abandoned at a shelter. I can't believe I don't know how old they were when she got them. So I mean, maybe they lived like 14, 15 years. I don't know. I have no idea. I just know she only had them for about 9 years. And they towards the end they had their lives weren't all that great. They had a lot of hip problems, but that's I don't know if that's a breed or if it was just the dog, those two dogs themselves. But then she got a Saint Bernard, and I can't remember what the dog she just got is, but it's huge like a Saint Bernard, but it's all white. She named it Loki. But your first Mastiff was a Bull Mastiff. He was amazing. Those are big dogs. The most loyal dog that I ever had in my life. I mean, I've had a lot of different dogs over the years. I've had everything from, golden retrievers, Pekingeses. Um, I've had obviously German shepherds. I had what was he? A Rhodesian Ridgeback. Um, but I mean, I've had all different kinds of dogs, but the most loyal and protective dog I ever had was a Saint Bernard, and that dog would have done anything for me. And I never had to spend any time training him. He just like out of the box. He just got it, everything. But he was a great dog. Next most loyal dog would be my buddy who's over here on the shelf behind me. That's my dog Lecky. He was a Saint Bernard. No, German Shepherd. He was a German Shepherd. Huskies are a riot. think there is something off about Summer's dad. Mannerisms. Yeah, it's hard to tell. To get a read on him, sixth sense. I mean, he spent a lot of years, doing drugs and drinking himself into oblivion. And and I pity the man for that. But I can't focus on him and say that he is that he's responsible for her disappearance. Nor can I look at the mom, because I don't know the actual evidence that's in the case. Maybe the police, law enforcement have a lot more evidence than I know of. If I can only go by what been in discovery motions, the CPS reports, and documents like that I can actually get, you know. But personal opinion, yeah, I can understand that. I think the kind of religion they practice, like I wouldn't trust certain religions and Scientology, etc. You don't currently have any animals, do you, Will? No. Well, let me tell you a funny story, K-Love, about my wife. To answer your question, do I have any animals? Well, I have one cat. His name is Bogey. Bogey likes to travel the neighborhood. So much so, he kind of moved into our neighbor's home on the end of the street. They didn't know if he had a home, so they took him to the vet to because they were worried about him with winter coming. And then they microchipped him. Oh, they waved him. They're like, "Oh, look, he's got a microchip in him." And they're like, "Yeah, he lives like 4 houses away." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, he has a home." But I have one cat. But my wife started feeding the cat outside, which attracted other cats. And now there is probably 8 cats who are somewhere near my home, either outside my home right now, inside my home. They're somewhere in around my home. 8, and some of them are here every day, and other ones just come and eat and leave. But I have one cat. I have a Bogey, Bogey the cat. Yeah, but every one of the cats, even if they don't know them, her and my daughter have picked names for them all, like Shadow, Midnight, um, Darla, Reginald. I mean, they picked names for all these cats, and as they meet the neighbors, who live nearby, they're like, the one that they thought was named, they named it Shadow, but his name is actually Oscar, and he lives across the street. And then another one named Reginald, his actual real name is Cat. He doesn't have a name other than Cat, but they named him Reginald because he's a tuxedo, black and white cat. But they named Reggie or Reginald because they thought it was more sophisticated, looking for the cat. But he lives at a house about 5 houses away, and it's just a single guy who one day he came out to his truck and this cat was inside of his truck, and nobody around his truck knew where the cat came from, so he just kept it. Community cat. German shepherds I had as a kid all the time. They were great. They will protect you till the end, even if you don't train them. Yeah, Chrissy. Now, the first one of the first dogs I ever had was a German Shepherd. It was a former police officer's dog, or police dog, if you will. I don't know if they actually deputized the dogs back then. That was like early '70s. The first dog I ever had was German Shepherd, or shouldn't say me personally, me and my sisters, because I had 4 sisters. There's 5 of them. Well, sorry. So I have an older brother, then I have 2 older sisters, then there's me, and then I have 2 younger sisters. So there's 6 of us total. But at least there was. Spambot. Little possum, and they'll play together every day. That's cool. Thinking of a way to phrase a reply to your question. Will, did you say your wife has a channel? Yes, Christina. My wife actually, she has a YouTube channel, but it's just her playing Minecraft. Um, it's Teal, Tealocelot. So Teal Ocelot, like the cat, all one word, Teal Ocelot. She's also on Twitch, but she streams and does content like that, about Minecraft, the game. She's just starting off, but she enjoys doing it. She usually streams in the afternoons, but and we used to have the taco podcast, but I'm the only one that does the taco podcast now, and it's not always on YouTube anymore. Now it's on uh, Spotify. And I think there for a second I was looking I could think of their logo. I'm like, Spotify. You love ocelots? Yeah. Yeah, she loves the game Minecraft. So does my son. My son loves the game. You know, every time I go to the store, he wants to buy something. He wants us to buy him something that's Minecraft related, either a shirt or pants or pajamas or a Minecraft sword. He loves Minecraft. Tacos are good in every form, any form. That's true. Tacos. Yeah. Laugh with the names, Will. Minecraft. Mind. What's coming in the new year? Short, nice. Good morning and welcome to the stream. I hope you had a wonderful and safe New Year's Eve. What's coming in the new year? I hope to, pretty much do the same thing that I'm doing now. I'm going to be adding another live stream. It's going to be on Fridays. That'll come in probably a couple weeks from now because I'm separating the Sunday night trivia that I do with from music and crime. I'm separating the two. So Sunday nights will only be music trivia. And I'm adding another stream that is just going to be standalone by itself on just crime trivia because there are people who enjoy one an awful lot more than the other, and then there are also people who enjoy them both equally. But there are people who don't want to play or tune in for the music trivia and then see that it's crime trivia. They're like, what the hell happened here? I want the music. So I've separated the two of them off, and one's going to be on Friday, and the other one will be on Sunday. So, Will, I feel sorry for you with all those sisters growing up. I don't. I think it made me a terrific person that I am today. I certainly grew up and I learned to respect the privacy and and the living environment from what I grew up in. So, and I think they taught me a lot, and showed me the way, where it may have taken my friends, 20 years to figure out, how to treat a woman, and how to respect them, and understand, a woman that they're different from your buddy, next door to you. You can go and joke around with them that they're different, people, creatures, if you will. I mean, I definitely learned that a lot earlier on than other people. So I think it was beneficial for me. It was hectic at times. Yeah, very hectic. But for the most part, I think I did okay. I season my chili with taco seasoning and melt cheese over it, then serve it on Doritos instead of crackers. So yummy. Oh, that sounds good, Tammy. It does. I thought American nation is very Catholic. Is there full trust of the Catholic Church or church people? Um, Scroll up. Kavita, to answer your question, the American nation is Catholic. I wouldn't say that the nation as a whole. I mean, we have freedom of religion. It's based on that's pretty much why we wanted to form our own nation is so we had freedom of religion in practice. But I would say that more of America as a whole used to be. I don't know what the actual percentage is now. Not Catholic, but is more Christian. Um, Now there we have all religions across the board, in America. If you can consider Mormonism Christian, then yeah, I'm guessing that most of America is Christian. Is there distrust in the Catholic Church? I don't wouldn't say that there's more distrust in that than any other religion. I mean, there are people who don't trust the Catholic Church because of the scandals. There are people who don't trust the Mormon Church because of the scandals. There are people who don't trust Islam because of the scandals. I mean, you could take that. There's outliers to everything. Across the board. I personally would not trust anybody who follows Scientology. Um, if you've never read about L. Ron Hubbard and that group, yeah, you really need to if you before you ever join something like that. But to each their own, you know. As long as you don't do anything to trespass and harm others intentionally, then do it. You know, if you want to worship a goat, worship a goat. Do you want to believe that there's an alien spacecraft behind, the next comet that's coming past our solar system? Do it. Just don't wear all the same outfit as the other person and drink Kool-Aid, or eat applesauce before going to bed. Some of you'll get that reference. Zelda. Good morning, sweetheart, and happy new year. Well, I'm up to 991. Just need 9 more and have CMAS gift ready to ship. Well, that's cool, Zelda. Y'all ought to go check out Zelda's YouTube channel, spelled just like it says there. And if you like her content, give her a subscribe. Help get push her over to the 1,000 mark. And I hope you have the 4,000 watch hours. I'm gonna worship Will full. Oh, you nut. I get a kick out of Zelda. Me too, Francie. Dan has described how Don idolized Summer. You have over 5,000 watch hours. Well, that's good. All you need is that 9 more, and then you can apply for the monetization with AdSense. So hopefully you'll get there soon. 9 more peeps. I'm Catholic. My husband is Islamic. I don't follow his, and he don't follow mine. We've been married almost 6 years. Well, happy wedding bliss there, Short Nice. To each their own. I mean, I know that people who are Catholic that are bad people. I know people who are Catholic are good people. I know people of all different ethnicities and religious backgrounds. They're good and bad in everything. And why people say that, I hate these people because they believe in this, or I hate people because they believe in that, is beyond me. It most people who hate because they are ignorant. They don't know. That's the truth. They hate because they don't know. I will check out Zildas. Well, good. So I can do lives from a drone. Well, you could do lives now, Zelda. Even if you don't have 1,000, you just move on over to Facebook, and let them mine everything that you do for content, and you can do Facebook Live. You don't have to have anybody follow you at all. I know people who are on Facebook Live who do content that I would never ever subscribe to. I know a guy who plays. He has model trains in his basement, and all he does is the live feed on Facebook just shows the train going around and around and around in circles, and he'll stream for 8 9 hours at a time, or until the battery dies on whatever that device he's using, and then the stream just ends. He is almost never on camera, but he does that on Facebook Live. Hi, at Do See You. You see me. I'm Alberta, Canada. I think it's cold in Alberta. Do you see me? And welcome to this. I'm sorry if I missed you and I didn't say hello and good morning to you. Do you see me? But yes, I do see you, and welcome. Anyways, short night. I'm in Edmonton. Well, that's cool. It's been a while since I've been to either Alberta or Edmonton. Last time I was in Canada, I went to uh, well, it was in British Columbia. The last time I was up there, it's been a couple of years. That's what I said, man. I'm tired of this stupid COVID. You know, and I want it all to be over with so I can get back to traveling. I really enjoy, traveling. You know, and I don't spend a lot of money doing it. I just get in my car and I just drive, and I don't have an agenda. It's like I have to be in this town by this date or this time. I just kind of let the road take me where it wants to take me. I have certain locations across the United States that I pick out, that I want to go to. Maybe I want to be in this town to see a baseball game. I'll get there, maybe 2 or 3 days before the baseball game, minor league baseball, not major league. But and just hang out in town, walk around the town, check it out, see what's going on, how people are living, talk to the locals, find a local diner and sit down and chat with people to see how life in small town America's going. That's what I used to do. And then when this COVID crap hit, that pretty much wiped out my entire month of June. Kind of weird because people were like, "Hey man, why are you home?" Because all my friends have been like, "Hey man, you're never here in the month of June." And I'm like, "I know. I've already tried having to wear so much clothing, bulky coats and etc." Oh, I'm in Calgary, AB. Thought you were in Alberta. I love not having to stick to agenda of just miranding wherever. Yeah, Yeah, we're still at 5 degrees outside here of my studio right now. I have a thermometer. It's just below the screen here. It tells me the outside temperature and the temperature in here. The heat. Wow, the heat pump is just working an overtime today. Anthony Warner. Yeah. Well, sneak in to wish y'all a happy new year. Back to that work thing. Thanks, Will. Thank you, old G. You have a happy and safe new year ahead. Thank you again. old G. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you found this morning's stream, useful, informative, if nothing else, relaxing. And I hope you gave it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Leave me a comment. Tell me what I could do to improve it. What you liked, what you didn't like. I can't get any better at this unless you give me feedback. But I'm going to have to wrap the stream up there. Thank you again, everyone, and happy New Year to everyone. I will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for trivia, music trivia tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So I'm on the West Coast of the United States. Adjust your time accordingly if you want to join us. 30 questions, 30 multiple choice questions displayed on the screen, and along with the 4 possible answers to the trivia question displayed on the screen. We just play for fun. There's no, you don't need to sign in or anything else to play along. We have chat, we talk, and we play trivia. But that's at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time again. I hope you can join us tomorrow night for trivia. But thank you, everyone, and it's Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Stay safe out there. Well, good. Hope you glad you enjoyed it.